Dadhood. Modern Dadhood podcast.
Okay, I think we're rolling. How are you doing, Marc?
Hey, man. Hey, I'm good.
Now be truthful with me.
I think I'm getting the late summer blues.
It's coming to an end fast.
Yeah.
Felt like fall in the air today.
It was a little crispy.
Lots of emails flying about back to school this and supplies that.
Ouch.
And teachers this and buses that.
Oh, God.
It's that time of year.
It is. It's a time of change, which can sometimes be hard. But you know what? I welcome change.
Well, do you want to introduce the podcast today?
I can. Wait, what?
I was going to say go for it.
What? You're listening to Modern Dadhood, an ongoing conversation about the joys, challenges, and general insanity of being a dad in this moment. My name is Marc and I'm a dad to twin boys who are 7.5 and are going to be going into second grade. Wow, that's heavy. That's a heavy thought.
It's big.
Yeah.
Second grade's a big deal.
It's huge. What about you, sir?
Well, my name's Adam Flaherty, and I'm a girl dad. Two girls who are 11 and 8 and going into 6th grade and 3rd grade, which is also kind of mind-blowing. And I feel like we say that like most episodes. We talk about how crazy it is that our kids are getting old, growing so fast.
Isn't that like sort of parenting a little bit? You know, there's all these phases. And you're in one, and all of a sudden you can't believe you're in that phase.
I suppose that's right.
And then the next one is a little mind-blowing, and you can't believe you're in that phase. And then sometimes you turn around, look behind you, and you think, where'd my little kids go? Where'd my little babies go?
Now they have beards.
Now they're full-grown men.
Now their legs are hairier than mine.
What? That's true for one of my kids. It's got the hairiest legs. Yeah.
Well, for folks who are just finding Modern Dadhood and joining us for the first time, we welcome you. We hope you like the show. We hope you get a lot out of it. And please know that Marc and I are not parenting experts, but we love to connect with other dads and learn about their experiences and sometimes gain some wisdom and new perspective from them.
That's right.
If you've been listening forever, we're glad you've stuck with us. And we hope that we haven't let you down. Today's episode, in fact, is a fun one. I got to reconnect with an old friend named Joel Costigan, who is a dad, a fellow girl dad. He has one daughter who is 7 years old, going into 2nd grade. And so we got a lot in common there, but I haven't seen him in a long time. So it's really fun to reconnect and talk about this summer that he has spent a lot of time with his daughter in. Did I say that right?
I think I tracked most of that. Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is he took a job as an ed tech, which allowed him to spend a lot of time with his daughter Ruby this summer. And was kind of a primary caregiver for her. And so we got into that and we talked about some of their adventures and we talked about, some of his fears as a parent. And I think that all dads, all parents will find some things in common with Joel, and you're just going to love him. He's a lovable guy.
I'm excited to listen to it, dude. And Ruby, what a great name.
Isn't that an awesome name?
Yeah, that's so my wife's grandmother's name was Ruby, and it was absolutely at the top of our list before we knew that we were going to be having boys. We had a really robust list of girl names. I don't know what it is about, like, we had a really easy time coming up with lots of girl names that we loved and had a hell of a hard time with the boy names.
That's interesting you say that, because when so I've shared about it in the past, but we had a miscarriage in between our two daughters, and before we realized that pregnancy wasn't viable, we'd started talking about names, and this was pretty early on, but we were writing down names and had some girl names left over from when our first daughter was born and kind of revisiting those, and then also tossing around some boy names. And we really struggled with boy names too.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. I don't know if that's a common thing. I wonder, maybe our listeners can share, comment on social or leave us a review of this episode and let us know if you struggled with girl names or boy names in particular, and why.
I always liked the name Atticus, but Jamie just couldn't get behind it.
Very old fashioned, right?
Super old fashioned. Yeah.
How about Alistair? Or Aloysius? No,
neither of those were on the list. Holden was on the list. I always really liked the name Holden.
Holden Caulfield Checkett.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ruby's a great name.
Well, I can't wait to listen to the combo, dude. Let's play it back. We have anything else to talk about? Let's talk about some other stuff before we play it back.
Here's what we can talk about. We're seeing a former Modern Dadhood guest this weekend together with our wives.
So great. We're seeing Vivek Murthy. No, we're seeing Captain Winston Scott. Nope. We're seeing Cretchy. Nope.
Oh, we might see Cretchy there. You never know.
He could be there. We're going to see Pete Holmes, man.
Yeah, dude. I would love to think that maybe we could say hello, snap a picture with him like we did with our buddy Rory Scovel a couple months back.
That'd be pretty great. Yeah.
We
could just yell out during the show, Rory took the time to take a picture with us. See what he says.
Do you have the decency to do the same?
Yeah.
He'd probably look at us and be like, I had the decency to do your fucking podcast.
And now you're following me around. Security.
Yeah, exactly. And as security's hauling us out, we would whip a dad hoodie up on
just throw it up on stage. And it would just miss the stage. Too.
Right. But no, that'll be great. I'm psyched to see. Sarah and I have seen Pete Holmes, I think, a couple of times before, and he never disappoints. So if listeners are hearing this episode and there's still tickets available, he'll be in Boston on Saturday. Let me know if you need tickets to that, because we bought tickets before he announced he was coming to Portsmouth. And then he's coming to Portsmouth the next day on Sunday. And so I'm trying to get rid of some Boston tickets.
You'll do it.
I don't know if I will, if I'm being honest.
Come on, listeners, step up. We recently took a vacation.
That's right. You went to.
We did a week long
up Maine.
Yeah, we went. How do you say it? Up to Maine.
Well,
isn't there like
up to camp is a thing.
Up
people
to camp,
just say up
thing.
Maine.
They do.
Up Maine is a thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm not particularly fond of it. I don't say it, but
Mainers
I'm going
weird,
up
man.
Maine.
Going up Maine. Well, we went up Maine. I guess past tense. We wented. We upped Maine. That's how you say it.
Okay.
We went to Bar Harbor, man.
Sorry, where did you go?
Bar Harbor.
Thank you.
It is beautiful up there.
It's a great spot.
Holy guacamole. It was wonderful. Yeah, we did the whole thing. We did Acadia National Park. We did like many hikes in Acadia National Park. I think we ate lobster at every meal. I tried to eat lobster at every meal. We went to see Atlantic puffins. We went out on a boat and we saw Atlantic puffins, which nice. I think maybe that's my new favorite bird. Finally unseated the tufted titmouse. Is that a bird?
That is a bird. It is. You don't have to Google it. It is a bird. In fact, I used my Seek app and I identified one right outside my bedroom window a couple of weeks ago.
That is a beautiful bird, the titmouse.
It is, but It's got nothing on the Atlantic puffin.
No, man. The Atlantic puffins are just magical little birdies. And we completed a puzzle, too. We stayed at a nice Airbnb that had some puzzles. We completed a puzzle.
Now that is idyllic.
Yeah, that is made me feel really good when we put that last piece in place.
Good for you, man. I'm glad you guys had that time together.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, let's get into this chat with my buddy Joel Costigan, because you're gonna. I promise you're gonna love him. And sometime you'll meet him in person, and
that would be nice.
We'll all do a 3-way high five together.
Holy that sounds great. I haven't been part of a 3-way high five since college.
Joel Costigan is a father of one daughter who's 7 years old. He's a soccer coach. He's an ed tech at Gorham High School in Maine, and he's been a friend of mine for many years. Joel, I'm glad that we're making this happen. I'm psyched to catch up with you. It's been too long.
Way too long, man, for sure. And thank you for spending the time with me.
What's been up?
Well, I've had a couple of job changes in the last few years. I was working in education for, almost 2 decades. And I moved over to a position with Maine Health. I loved it, but it was a lot of work and I miss being home. And I'm very, very, very fortunate that I could take a different role, move over to an ed tech role back in April. I moved over and gave me the summers off, which is gonna be great. I was able to pick up Ruby after school every day, which is amazing, and spend more time with her. My wife is doing incredibly well with her job, so we can afford to have that luxury, which has been. So this summer was really a test to see if we could do it, making sure we had the income to do it, and then it went really well, man. It was an awesome summer for sure.
I want to get into the summer and some of the activities that you guys did, and you had shared with me that a primary driver for your decision to go from healthcare back into education was like being able to pick Ruby up at school and have those afternoons with her. Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
That's the primary motivator. I went to school to be a teacher. I love working with students, and through Maine Health, I was working with adults in employment services. Great job, great people. But I did miss working with the kids, and I didn't have the time to pick up my daughter after school. Or if I did, I had to be double dipping. I had to be picking her up, but also being in meetings after school and not really paying attention to her. So it was a big motivator to move over to this job. And like I said, this was a test this summer. It does afford me more time to also fulfill my passion of coaching. I've been coaching at Deering High School as their boys varsity coach this will be my 15th season. And then it's been fun this summer. I've been able to bring Ruby to some of my practices. Yeah, so it's been a big blast to have her around every single day.
Yeah, I want to get into that because that's a really romantic idea, I think, for a lot of parents, is to have a summer to just hang with your kid and do fun activities and share experiences with them and bond with them in a really special way that you didn't have the time to do the rest of the year, right? But Did you feel pressure to plan activities and book out each day so that she always had stuff going on, or how did that go?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So it's interesting. I do want to premise this, teaching is incredibly rewarding. And Ruby, when she was just born, was my 4th year teaching. I was teaching social studies, but it was so much work. And even the summers, you think summers are off, but they're not, because I was continually stressing about preparing for curriculum the following year. And so when I thought about getting back into education, I said, I can't do the same thing. I'm not going to have time for Ruby. So the ed tech role made more sense. I'm working directly with kids. I don't have to plan as much, and after school is time with just me and her. So what ended up happening this summer is she and I sat down, and I just said, what are all the things that you want to do this summer? And we made a list. And we've almost checked them all off. We do have, I think, Aquaboggan or Splashtown in Funtown is still on that list. It's way too hot this week, so I'm going to push it to next week. But
and for people who don't live in Maine, those are two epic water parks that also happen to be within a mile of each other.
Oh yeah. So we sat down and we just mapped out things. Just go to the movies. We talked about going to a Hearts of Pine game. The Portland Hearts of Pine is a brand new professional soccer club here in Portland. We talked about going to the beach. So we put that on our list. The ropes course was another item on the list. Jordan's Furniture has their indoor ropes course.
Oh, yeah.
So that's been a blast for her, not for me. I mean, just building fairy houses, something so simple. I ended up getting ordered 300 glue sticks and a glue gun, and we just built fairy houses one day.
Awesome.
Actually more than one day. So it wasn't, I didn't feel a ton of pressure, just having some background in working with kids, of course. And she's my daughter. I just love spending time with her. And I'm very fortunate where we have a great neighborhood. Ruby's best friend lives 2 houses down. And then some days we just spend the time in the pool, and she and our 1-year-old lab just swim all day. So I thought that maybe we would run out of ideas, but it's amazing how much time can be killed just by swimming in a pool, hanging out in the backyard, and building fairy houses.
Were there moments where you felt like I just need a break? Like I need to interact with another adult, or I just need to like chill out and do nothing and like look at my phone for 15 minutes? Or
Yeah, we're very fortunate. So Ruby's an only child. She's our one and only, and we're very fortunate that Ruby has a great imagination. So she does entertain herself. She loves to read. She loves to play with her stuffies. So you mentioned, like, is there any time that I need just by myself to decompress, be on my phone, and for sure, I'll sit in the chair and get on Facebook, although I shouldn't. And Ruby will entertain herself, but I didn't need that much of it. And I mean, part of it, like I mentioned, just being in a neighborhood is amazing. Kids want to play, which is great. She hasn't been consumed by technology yet. And then just being in close proximity with grandparents. I have 2 step parents. I have 2 parents, and then Caitlin has her parents still present. So Ruby's very fortunate. We're very fortunate. So we have our pick of 6 grandparents to entertain her, or if I do need some time to come over and give me some relief. My father came over one day and taught Ruby how to snorkel. Bought her a snorkel, brought her some fins.
That's awesome.
Talked about going scuba diving. So that was an entire afternoon, and she had a blast. It was a great opportunity this summer also for her to hang out with my stepfather, who has never hung out one-on-one with her, which was an awesome opportunity. They hung out twice this summer, and the first time she ended up wanting to go see dad at practice, but the second time they ended up finding things to do like yoga. They did some yoga. They walked around in the garden. They did some reading, and it's so we're very fortunate to have the grandparents around as well, which keeps things fresh.
So I'm curious, like your stepdad, did he have any experience raising younger kids or like hanging out with kids Ruby's age?
I do have 2. I have a nephew and a niece, so that may have contributed. I have a nephew who is just turned 9 years old, and a niece who just turned 9 years old, and a nephew just turned 4. But of course, my stepfather raised myself along with my other parents. Married my mother when I was 3 years old, so had a good. Never wanted kids, but kind of landed in it, and has been an amazing parent to me and my sister, and has been an amazing grandparent. So,
are there any like particular skills or values that you are intentionally focused on teaching her this summer, or is it really just about having fun and spending the time together?
I mean, that's a deep question. I mean, there's some basic things like swimming. It's swimming, being around water is one of my biggest fears, both for myself and my wife. And we did say that like it is mandatory. You're going to learn how to swim this summer, whether you like it or not. Like luckily she loves swimming. My mother was going to spend Thursdays teaching her, giving lessons. Unfortunately, she broke her leg or her ankle this summer, which is a crazy event. But she's just, she's been around around the pool with myself and learning how to swim. So that was a must. Other things, just, trying to get her to just giving her a little bit more responsibility. We did get the skylight calendar and have her a couple chores that she has to complete and try to earn points. Like maybe like one night it was, hey, if you get 15 points, you've done all these chores for the week, you get a movie night. We do movie nights more often, regardless if she gets the points. But it's the intention's still there. I'm a pushover. But so giving her some chores, making her bed. I have stopped getting her cereal. She knows how to get cereal. She asks for milk, and I say, where the refrigerator is. I know you can do this. And she's, she hasn't complained. So I said, just giving her more. I used to walk her over to her best friend's house. It's only 2 doors down. I'd wait till she was inside, and then I'd wave goodbye if she was playing. This summer, I don't know if it's out of laziness or just trust. I have said, listen, go through the backyard, because our houses our backyards connect. Let's go to the backyard, tell your best friend's mom to text me when you're there, and that has been worked really well. If it was any further down the street, then I would certainly make my way down there with her. But so we've been giving her a little bit of longer leash, I think, as well.
I think the swimming thing is so important. When you said like a fear of water, you and Caitlin both personally are afraid of water, or more afraid of allowing her to be in water just for fear of like drowning, sort of thing.
Yeah, we don't have rabies. It's the latter. Drowning is a as I mentioned, I've coached for 15, this is my 15th season. I've had 4 players who have, over that span of time who have passed away, who've died, tragic events around water. So it is a horrible fear of mine, her being in the water herself. I'm not a great swimmer. I mean, Caitlin's, we grew up swimming for sure, but that's not really the factor. It's really just, wanting her to be safe and being able to do something as simple as like, hey, you're tired, here's how you float. So, yeah.
How do you think that your experience as an ed tech has shaped who you are as a parent?
I don't know that it has so much. I mean, certainly patience. So I'm working in a functional life skills setting with kids with developmental disorders and disabilities, and it requires incredible patience. I might say that, and this is more new to me. I mean, working in education is not, but this particular setting is new to me. Prior to that, it was working in behavioral settings before I was teaching social studies, history, and psychology. So I would say that, they've all complemented each other, but certainly patience. And I don't want to say I'm hard on Ruby at all, but I do think that I have high expectations for her. And part of that carries on to the students. I set high expectations and ask them to be responsible and advocate for themselves. So I think they've all worked together. And there's certainly skills that I've learned as a parent that I've then applied as a teacher. Empathy, of course, is huge. But and I don't know if there's any one thing for you.
Has the dynamic in your household changed as a result of you essentially being like the main caretaker in the summertime?
Yeah. So my wife, Caitlin, who you know as well.
I sure do.
Known each other a long time. She decided to go back to school. She's worked with Maine Health for many, many, many years. She's a family nurse practitioner. But she also went back to school, got her MBA and her doctorate. So,
wow.
It was a few years of just grind for her. And then, with that came promotions at work, a ton more responsibility for her. I mean, she's an amazing mom. She's present when she gets home, but she does need some time to decompress when she gets home because she's working hard all day. Her days are a bit longer. I mean, she's typically working 10-hour days, sometimes more. So, how the dynamic has changed, I think that it's just, there's the expectation that I have to be present when she gets home, and we have to work more as a team. Don't laugh at this, but after 11 years of marriage, we just celebrated our 11th anniversary over the weekend, and over 20 years together. We finally combined bank accounts. That was a big move because I knew that I was not going to have an income this summer except for working the occasional soccer camp. So there has been the need to talk finances much more, just to make sure that I'm not, spending without conversation. She's not spending without conversation. So, I think that it's been great for a relationship as well, because we are, we're starting to talk about finances more, which is, I don't want to say we never talked about it before, but we didn't have to talk about it as much because, I had a good paying job with Maine Health, and she has a great paying job herself. But certainly with the change, not having the same income, not getting paid in the summers, there needed to be more teamwork in that aspect.
One of the things that I wanted to kind of explore with you, and we've touched on it a little bit, is this idea that I feel like historically and still today, when people think of a default parent, they usually think of the mother, the maternal role. And do you think that Ruby has a sense of that and gender roles, and what do you think she is getting from spending so much time with you, the dad, as her primary caretaker and companion?
I mean, it's certainly not like this in the soccer season. Caitlin refers herself as a soccer widow, but in the summer for sure, and after school, when it's not the soccer season, I'm the person picking her up from school. I hope that I don't think that any gender roles have been projected onto her. I love being a father. I love spending time with her. She does see some close friends in the neighborhood, are stay-at-home mothers, and they're amazing parents as well. I don't think there's been this this is a traditional how a man or a husband's supposed to act, or a dad's supposed to act, and this is how a mother is supposed to act. I think that I think things have changed with times for sure, but also just being in the neighborhood that we're in. And we don't have, it used to be like dads are stoic. They work, they're the breadwinners, they come home and they do their decompress. At least that was, what we'd see in the movies. And I think that for sure society has changed largely to be more accepting of this. But I just hope that she knows how much I love her. And I tell her every day that she's my best friend. We have our own special sayings, of course, all throughout the day and every night. I love you more than the moon, the sun, the stars, and grilled cheese sandwiches, which I love grilled cheese sandwiches, Adam. And pizza. So I don't know that she has any idea of like, this is what a father's supposed to be, and this is what my dad is. I mean, I'm just her dad. I just want her to know that I love her. That's it. I also stress the importance of her mom working and loving her job. We talk about it all the time. It's not that like I have to go to work. Caitlin doesn't say I have to go to work. So I get to go to work. We want Ruby to grow up and know how amazing her mom is. She's the smartest person I know. I mean, she's got so many degrees and she's done so well in her career. She is the source of knowledge for all medical things and any Jeopardy question, that's my wife. Anything trivia. So we want her to be a huge role model for Ruby. I want Ruby to know that she can do all this. And I think that definitely breaks some barriers, or some stereotypes of how like the traditional family that we used to have. Again, like I have four parents. I have a stepmother, a stepfather, a mother, and father. Everybody is so different, and everyone has impacted me in different ways. My father, at a young age, is teaching me how to want to go fishing, and he's about how to work hard. My stepfather was a professor for forever. So he has his PhD, and he's emphasizing school and learning and baseball, in sports. But I want to say that this might sound weird, but I think that the biggest influencer in how I am as a parent really is my mother. My mother I don't think she's ever yelled at me. She's always been, I don't know how to describe it. But I think my mother has just always been such a compassionate person. She advocated for me throughout school. I have Tourette syndrome, as you know. So tics really influenced my learning, and my ability to be in school and focus. And my mother was always there to educate teachers about it and to just be compassionate towards me. So I think that certainly has rubbed off. I like to say that it's the best thing I do. It's the best thing I am is being a father. And I think that comes from my mother, and just how kind she was with me and how patient she was with me. How supporting everything I did. If I want to, Ruby was learning how to play violin, or she wanted to play violin. And I was like, let's do it. We're going to sign you up for lessons. I'm going to get a violin myself so we can practice together.
That's it. That's an investment, dude. Two violins, right?
Two violins. I mean, they were cheap violins, but yeah, you find the online knockoffs. But no, for sure, it's an investment in time, but it's more bonding. But that just goes back to my mom and my stepfather and my mother. My dad and my stepmother. They wanted to support my interests. I do recall that if I was into jazz music, my stepdad was playing jazz music. Or if I wanted to go to a music camp, my mom was, pushing me to go to music camp or a baseball camp or whatever it was, and really just supporting my interests. But it's just, I don't think I often reflect back and think like, how are my parents, and what do I want to take from them, and what do I want to do differently, and who has rubbed off on me the most. But now that you asked that question, it is my mother. She's been
I
great
love
in
that.
my life. And I think she's really, I do see a lot of myself in her, or vice versa, as a parent. And it's incredibly rewarding when my mom does say, she says often how she loves me, but she also says, you're a great dad. And I think that's probably the best compliment I could ever have. But I do, it means a lot coming from her. And she was a super mom growing up, as I was growing up. And have her say that about me is just so meaningful.
This is a safe space where you can cry if you need to. I just want you to know, because I feel like you're right on the edge, and I just want to push it. I want to see tears.
Oh, that's great. Adam, if you were here in person, we'd hug. But,
I know if we were drinking a beer right now, we'd both be crying. No, but that is such a sweet thing and such a meaningful thing to hear from your parents. Like, my mom passed away about 4 years ago now, but she would say that, she'd compliment Sarah and me on how we raise our kids. And she would share her opinions when she thought we were doing something that, she would do it a different way. She wasn't afraid to say that, but she was always very complimentary. And like, it really is like, so, I don't know, gratifying's not the word, but like, there's not a whole lot that compares to getting that kind of compliment from a parent.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's twofold. I mean, one is hearing from your parents how well you're doing, and then seeing how much they love being grandparents.
Yes,
that's really amazing. And it's something that you don't expect. I mean, you don't prepare for anything as a parent, of course, but it's definitely meaningful to see those two things happen organically.
So thinking into the future a little bit, I'm asking a question that's sort of rooted in personal experience for me. So again, my girls are 11 and 8, and for I think 3 years now, maybe even 4, my older daughter has been going to a sleepaway camp every summer for, I think it's 5 nights.
Wow.
And she's loved it. It's been great for her. Like, we love her to death and want to spend all the time with her, but like, it's nice for her to have those experiences away from us and with other kids and with other adults, counselors, and just, it's great for her for life experiences. And it's good for all of us too. We get some solo time with our younger daughter and to, bond with her in a different way. But this summer that we're in right now, is the first year that both of my girls have gone to this sleepaway camp. And so Sarah and I had 6 days, the two of us, without kids. And it was so weird. And there were things about it that like we really enjoyed, but of course we missed them all the time. And I just wonder for you, like, have you considered that there's going to be a time when Ruby goes to like a sleepaway camp and suddenly you and Caitlin, like, there's not a kid to take care of and to kind of complete that family dynamic? What do you think? Like, how do you anticipate feeling about that?
It's funny because like we literally had this conversation tonight.
Oh, really?
When I was younger, I went to what's called the Friends Camp. It's up in China, Maine. I made some amazing friends. I think you've met my buddy Camille at one point along my.
This sounds right. I think I met him at your wedding.
At my wedding, exactly. Yes, we did an overnight camp, myself and my sister. It was an amazing experience for sure. And I did ask Ruby and Caitlin tonight. I just kind of said, "Hey, would you ever want to do this?" And it's funny. I don't want to say we don't trust certain people, but we don't trust certain people.
I mean, fair enough.
It's not them. It's us. I mean, so like my sister is someone who we send Ruby over and she does overnights with all the time. She's done that several times. She's done overnights, and it's not an issue. I think we would certainly send to a grandparent. My mom is asked to spend time with Ruby overnight, and I think down the street that's fine. I mean, part of it is just how far away we are, access to our support network, other grandparents, friends, and family. But we just did a friend's 40th birthday, and we went away. We went away for 5 nights, and it was a big deal. We FaceTimed her every single night, and we talked to her, so we did that for the 40th birthday. Went to the Dominican Republic, and it was weird. I think the biggest difference is that we knew where she was. We knew she was going to school during that time period. So we knew she was at school. She was just getting picked up by a grandparent. She was sleeping still at our house.
Yeah.
We knew my sister was down the street. We knew that our neighbors and Ruby's best friend was down the street. So I think just knowing where she is kind of made it a little bit easier. But that was an experience for sure. We did miss her terribly. We're now planning Caitlin's 40th birthday, and I just want to bring Ruby with us. I was like, I don't want to do that again to her. I know but she had a blast. She was hanging with her grandparents. But I know that she's getting to the point where I think we could bring her. I don't want any more excuses to leave her at home. I think that the first sleepover though that she does, it's not at her aunt's or my mother's, will definitely be next door, her best friend. As far as a camp, I mean, that's huge. How old again were your kiddos when they first went away for that overnight camp?
My older daughter, who's 11, was, I think, 7 years old, maybe the first time. And that was maybe the first year it was like 3 nights. But after every year since, it's been 5 nights, and she loves it, and she would stay longer if she could.
Was it a local camp setting?
No, it's up in the mountains in New Hampshire. And
oh my goodness.
But still, it's like there's no contact for the whole time, that they're, unless there's an emergency or something. And, especially like the first year, with both girls, it's like you wonder, are they going to be all right? Like, are they going to miss us? Or are they going to like want to come home? But really, it's like they're fine. They're totally fine. We're the ones that are like worried about it and missing them so much. So
it's such a weird thing to think about. But I know that especially as a teacher, you don't want to give them too much. You don't want to hold their hand too much, right?
Right.
You want to give them some autonomy, some opportunities to grow on their own, but like, damn, I want to be able to FaceTime her every night. I want to. Well,
and it's also our jobs to like protect them and keep them safe. And like you said, like you want to be able to like trust people, but there are dangers in the world, and we want to feel like if you're sending your kid for a sleepover, that the parents really well and you trust the parents really well, and it can be a hard pill to swallow.
Ruby did some summer camps this summer. She did 3, 2 soccer camps that I was her coach.
Yeah.
She did a basketball camp where I was the only dad there watching. For me, I think that's going to be a huge moment when I can actually let go a little bit. I'm not quite there yet, and I don't want it to stun her development wise, but that's a big step. I mean, I think we'll start with the close by sleepover, maybe a shared yard tent this summer. We still got a couple of weeks before we go back to school.
Yeah, we got to camp out in the backyard. Haven't done it yet.
Yeah. So something like that, and then just ease our way into it. But I think trust is huge. Knowing who they're staying with.
As summer is kind of starting to wane, have you thought about how you will prepare yourself emotionally for that shift back to school after having that much one-on-one time with Ruby?
Yeah, I'm ready. I think I'm definitely ready. I'm like I said, I have the passion of coaching soccer, and so that really gets me excited. I also want Ruby to know, when Kayla and I have both talked about this, we want her to know that like we're not just parents. Like we have our own interests. We've tried to go we went on a date today. We want Ruby to know that like sometimes just mom and dad and you're not invited. Not to be mean to you or cruel, but like this is about us, not about you today. So for me, going back to work is going to be about me. It's like, hey, I really enjoy what I'm doing. And I tell her this, and I say, hey, I love coaching soccer. I love working with other kids too. And I think it's been really, really, really important that to model that for her. Caitlin this summer has had some girls' nights. And I think it's really important to show Ruby that we have our own lives. We have our own friends, and it's not just being available all the time. So I haven't really had to prepare for it. I'm ready for it for sure. I'm not going to tear up when she goes back to school or anything. We've she's going to the 2nd grade. It will be we're excited for her to learn more. She's become an amazing reader. I think that she will benefit from that structure as well. And right now it's just kind of figuring out the childcare thing after school. And, if I'm going to be late, who picks her up? If I have a game, Caitlin has taken some certain PTO days off to make sure that we can accommodate my away games. Grandparents are filling in here and there. And it's just kind of putting together the schedule, the coverage to make sure that someone's at least here to pick her up.
before we wrap up, I remembered that I have to tell you this story because you do come up frequently, because my girls at bedtime, we've gone through phases where they like us to read to them. Even now at 11 and 8, like they love for us to like lay with them and tuck them in and stuff. And both girls they're always like, tell me a story from like when you were growing up. And one time, a long time ago, I told them, either together or independently, I told them this story of when we were in college. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Does it have to do with a piano?
No, it doesn't. It's a different story.
Story. All right, I'm sure it's similar content.
I told them this story of, it was nighttime. A bunch of us had walked from our dorm down to get a slice of pizza.
D-hop.
And so we got our $1 slice, and we were walking back to the dorms, and we were in a group, and I was like lagging a little bit behind, and I ran up to you like from behind.
I think it was snowing. It was snowing too.
I'm sure it was. And I put my hands on your shoulders, and I was going to I don't actually know what the hell my motivation was, but I put my hands on your shoulders and jumped like I was maybe going to just jump on your back like a piggyback. And the next thing I knew, I was in front of you, like flat on my ass on the sidewalk. And I had convinced myself in that moment. And for listeners who can't see Joel, he's a very tall person. I had convinced myself that I had like vaulted over your head and flipped in the air and then landed on my ass. And I couldn't figure out what the heck happened. But what happened was, do you remember what you did?
I know it was complete. I remember the moment. Exactly. Yeah. I think it was completely random. Like, I didn't know you were there. I went down to either tie my shoe or do something. And I just happened to bend over at that exact moment.
You bent over like all the way over, like your torso was parallel to the ground, like an upside down L. And so I did flip over you and land on my ass, but I didn't realize that you had bent over. So I thought I was a hero who had like gone about 8 feet into the air, and really it was just an embarrassing moment, but I will never forget it. And my girls love the story, and they always ask me to tell it again.
Okay, well, you'll tell them the piano stories and other embarrassing moments, I'm sure.
We had some good times.
Cool, man. Thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah, well, Joel, it was it's been really fun catching up with you, and I promise we will get together soon. And I want to get together with just you and have a beverage or two, but I want to get our families together too, because I'd love to see Caitlin and would love for our girls to get to know each other too.
Love it, buddy. Thanks for reaching out.
Oh, so that's a thing now.
Well, why didn't you say so?
So you remember before the interview when we were doing the intro part of the show, you remember back then during this one? Do you remember? It was like 15, 20 minutes ago. Remember that?
Yep.
We went on a trip. It was to Bahaba.
I remember you told me that.
It was like so many minutes ago, so I wasn't sure if you would remember. So naturally, we took many photos. Some would say too many. But as we were going through them, we were really realizing so we have boys, okay? Boys typically have a penis, okay? And
where the hell is this going?
And you kind of get to a point when you're growing up where it's sort of a fascinating appendage, and your hand just kind of wanders down to it.
Sure.
Right. So we've seen them around the house, kind of getting at it a little bit here and there.
And as an aside, once you hit that stage,
yeah,
you never get through the stage.
No,
You're
actually,
always
you
in
never,
the stage.
Yeah, you never go back again. But we didn't realize the frequency that this was happening until we started going through our copious amounts of photos from the trip. And it's like every photo. Elastic
waist, hands straight down.
Somebody's just grabbing their junk in every photo, like every photo.
Oh, man.
We refer to it as peen pinching around our house. Yeah. And so we were like connect at our phone to like the Apple TV so we could do like a slideshow on the TV screen. Yeah. And all four of us were sitting there and we decided to count the peen pinches. And, you know, whoever did the most, well, one of my sons was like, whoever does the most wins. And I was like, I don't think so. I think that person's the loser, actually. But we had a lot of fun going through our photos and counting how many photos had a picture of a boy pinching peen.
Did you calculate a percentage of the total photos that they appear in and what percentage of those they're pinching?
No, but I should, and I will. And I'll come back to you with that answer.
I'd love that. And the other question is this. When you were reviewing the Google slideshow, did you find any photos that, whether intentional or not, looks like either you or Jamie were doing that action? Did they call you on it?
No. I don't think so. But I'm also going to go back and check for that as well. You know what would be great is actually that would be a great family photo. Like if we did that all together on purpose and then maybe used that as like a Christmas card next year.
I'm just going to say, man, I'm smelling a Christmas card. So peen pinching is a thing now.
Peen pinching is a thing now.
In the Check It household. All right. Well, I'm glad I know it.
Okay. Look out in your neighborhood for any peen pinchers.
Or don't look. I mean, if you see it, then actually turn away.
Maybe don't draw too much attention to it.
That's the end of another episode of Modern Dadhood. How was it? What did you guys think? If you like it, if you did, maybe consider leaving us a review wherever you happen to listen. Or better yet, tell a friend, text a friend about the show. Say, listen to this show. It's friggin' hilarious. It's called Modern Dadhood. You're going to love it.
They said tufted titmouse, and I didn't even know that was a bird. That's what you should say to your friend.
The hosts
I learned something.
Are so arrogant.
They're douchey, but you kind of learn to love them.
The podcast can be found naturally wherever podcasts can be found.
Wait, but roll that back. Did you say podcats?
I don't think so, and I don't have the ability to roll it back, but
we're going to find out.
I'm not editing it out, so everybody's going to hear if I did say podcats.
Okay.
Subscribe, review would be wonderful. Moderndadhood.com is the website. That's kind of the hub for everything. All of our social media can be found from there. We're on all the platforms. Find us on YouTube, anywhere.
Man.
Send us a message through the website. There's a form there, or you can email us at HEY at
moderndadhood.com.
Correct. And
you're doing so good, but I wanted to get in there a little bit, you know.
Well, tell about the merchandise, and then you have you take the whole
merchandise.
Rest of it.
You mean our so comfortable modern dad hoodies and the t-shirts that you can buy at our website moderndadhood.com, and each of which ships free with a sticker. Well, no, wait, the shipping's not free. The sticker is free. Just to make that clear.
Put it on your car.
Yeah. Oh man,
when you go to Bar Harbor.
Did you say yet thank you to Casper Baby Pants and Spencer Albee for all the music that you hear on the show?
I don't think you did. Thank you to them. Thanks to your pal,
and maybe one day my pal in the future, Joel Costigan, for joining us for joining you on Modern Dadhood.
And look, I can't take the last bullet away from you. You do the last thanks, Marc, please.
Hold on, I'm trying to get centered. Let me just pinch some peen. Thank you for listening.